accidentally hit the live button a little early, but here we are.
Welcome. Howdy.
All right, I'm still putting on the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we were just talking about my truck needing struts and ball joints,
Yeah,
but that's all right.
You might have heard a couple choice words.
Yeah, it's possible. All right, so we are carving an Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl champion sign. This is first of mine, so if anybody's seeing this and is affiliated with the Eagles, we're not making any money off of it. We're just carving it for some friends. All right. So what are you going to start off with? What are you doing for the small letters up there?
Carving liner.
You're going to use the carving liner on that?
On the small letters, yes.
All right.
That's
So there's,
correct.
how big are those? I'd say they're definitely less than an inch, maybe half an inch or 3/4.
5/8. They're a little less than 5/8. They're barely over a half.
Okay, so yeah, those small letters up there are half an inch. So Dad's going to do those with the carving liner. Garrett Zine, what's up, buddy? Justin Hellickson, he made one. What's up, man?
Justin? All right, tell me when you're ready.
Yep, we're good to go, Dad. Go for it.
Okay. Oh, that's not the start button.
All right, so let me get this focused, guys, then I'll answer the questions. All right, so Amy Rhoten, that chick is hot. I'll tell you what, I've known her for a while. That is one smoking hot blonde. Yes, ma'am. Totally different live than last week, although it is a little rushed because we hit the go live button early. Is the Lord from Fruitville, you guys? I think you have some bad reception or just the weather up here, but you're cutting out really bad. Are we cutting out, guys? Everything seems to be good on our end. I'm not sure. Sandra Callanan, hello from Maryland. Randy Noble. See, I'm just not a football guy. I don't know. It just never, I don't know. Maybe it's because I suck at sports, but it never really did anything for me. Lloyd, what's up? Needed a refresher course? Yeah, don't we all, man? Tim sounds good. Justin looks good. Okay, cool. So Dad is starting off on those, they're basically just over a half inch. I was thinking we could get away with the profile bit, but they're pretty small. Rich Boyce, what's up, buddy? Coming through fine on my connection? Good, good. Sometimes we have issues with the Wi-Fi out here, just like Dad's having issues with the lights. Daniel, how you doing, man? So, guys, I just want everybody to know that it's 5 o'clock out here, so I'm enjoying a nice Michelob Ultra while Dad's carving. That seems to be kind of our go-to. I drink beer and Dad works. It works. That's how our partnership goes. It works awesome. So Dad's starting out with the carving liner. What are you, 1/8 of an inch, Dad?
Yeah, about.
Okay, he's at about 1/8 of an inch. And for those of you guys that just joined in, this is what he's carving. So my wife's friend Venetia and her husband Johnny, they live out in Hurst, Texas. And we are carving this for them. I actually made one for them the last time the Eagles won the Super Bowl, which was LII. Dad, do you know what that means, LII? The Roman numeral?
Yeah, that's probably when they won the last Super Bowl.
Yeah.
52, maybe?
Okay, so 52, and this is 59, I think. I think. Let's see. I'm going to Google it real quick, guys. Roman numeral.
I'm going to get rid of these already.
You can turn the lights off?
Not tonight, but yeah. I'm going to throw them all in the trash. find something else. I can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway.
Brandon Cap. Okay, so is it like the Spanish reading of that would be Cabanillas, or is it Cabanillas? One or two? Yes, teamwork. That's what I'm talking about. Dad works and I drink a cold beer. Stephen Esden, hello, from Maine. You know, Rich, based on the YouTube poll we did, I think we're gonna go with stickers. I think. Hit that thumbs up button, guys. You know, if you like what we're doing. Don't do it disingenuously, if that's a word. Ah, Cabanillas. See, look at me. Super cultured. So I want to let you guys know, if you go check out the website, makeawoodsign.com, we've been kind of busting our butts on that thing. We're putting everything in categories. And I know a lot of you guys probably saw the short I did. We're putting everything in categories. So one thing about the website right now is that it's kind of hard to navigate. Like, for instance, we have a template set of dinosaurs, but it's called Sam's Dino Set, and it was named after the kid of one of our customers that wanted dinosaurs, so we named it after him. But if you put dinosaurs, it might not necessarily, what?
It's called Sam's Dinos. That's not a kid. That's Carmen's husband, Sam.
Oh, that's named, I thought, oh, that's named after Carmen's husband, Sam. Oh, all right. See, yeah. I didn't even know that. Well, he's kind of a kid, just a gigantic one. Yeah. Super awesome. Great guy. Brian Hacking, good evening from Wisconsin. Roger Courtney. Guy Fagerman, what's up? Guy, I don't know if you saw it earlier, but I'm having a beer in your honor. Yes, sir. Only 3 carbs. Said what? Oh, anyway, so the website. So hopefully by the end of next week, it will be all set up in categories. So like, we're gonna have it to where you click on a banner and then it'll take you to like outdoors, wedding, automotive.
They're gonna be called collections.
Yeah, they'll be called collections, not categories. So it'll be a lot easier to navigate, and you can search for whatever you're looking for based on an interest instead of actually having to find it by name, which I think is going to make navigation a lot easier. And I think if you guys go through there and kind of look at the website, you're going to see stuff that, you know, is maybe 5 or 6 years old, and you might not have seen for a long time, forgot we had, or even the new stuff. Like one of the collections is going to be holidays. We got tons of stuff on there. So, excuse me, be sure to check it out around next week sometime. I think it's going to be good. 2 sets of tea lights. Are the tea lights like the fairy lights Dad had for a long time? We were looking at some of those LED headlamps that have the LED strip. And I think those might work better than these lights here. You know, even when you get the lights as they are from Harbor Freight, it's really cheap. I think it's like $2 or $3. And so they're not the most well made. So I think one of those headlamps would be a little bit better. Yeah, Justin, Dad's had about enough of those things. It sucks because when they work really well, but getting those things to keep from flickering is turned out to...
not made for the vibration of the router.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Yeah, Dad said he thinks it's not made for the vibration of the router. Hey, Ed, what's up, buddy? Yeah, those headlamps, man, they're good. My wife and I think we have between us like 8 or 10 different headlamps. We're all about those. But we do want lights that are attached to the router itself. So I think those LED strip headlamps would be really good because, you know, they're made a little bit tougher than the light switch lights. Oh. Oh, right on. You're still out there carving, Ed. Awesome. Randy, you're looking for something else as far as lights for the router? We're still looking around. We're trying to find the best option. Alan Lynch, how you doing, man? Now you switching to the profile, Dad?
Profile, yep.
All right.
We'll see how these lights hold up. Somewhere around 3/16 to a quarter.
Okay. So Dad's somewhere between 3/16 and a quarter for his initial carving on this. Ed, did you kind of, did it stop working, or is there a reason you don't use it anymore?
Can you still see that router bit all right, Ryan?
Yeah, actually, I see it pretty good.
Okay.
I know, Guy. We're trying to get Gwenny down here. We're working on it. William Middlecoff, yeah, it's all going good, man. It's all going good. Hope things are well over there. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, the vibration of the router really makes a big difference. Yeah, eventually, Justin, we will actually find something that works permanently. Eventually. See, now Dad's carving this upside down, and it makes sense to carve closer to you than reaching all the way across the bench. But man, I have a hard time with that. Carving upside down is really difficult for me. Your blower's right underneath you, Dad.
Oh.
Or I can turn the, in fact,
That's all right. This is good.
I think this is still on. I'm the same way, Justin. It just, because we're so used to writing left to right, top to bottom, Upside down is difficult. Ed, did you try that 3N double-sided tape? That stuff works pretty good. James Roy, what's up, man? Gallon printable primer in the critter gun? No, Kyle, we never use that just because I'm sure it would probably work as long as it's primer. But getting the critter gun all set up and everything just for layout, unless it's something really big for layout. Also, you have to really mess with the pressure, because if there's too much pressure and you're using your layout letters, it's going to blow them all over the place. But I imagine using the critter gun for that would definitely work. Even if not for layout, but for like a big sign that or a table or something that you're spraying after it's all carved, that would probably work real well. But I don't think it's really necessary. We've never had anything, or at least I haven't, that you've had to use anywhere even near a half a can of primer. So it seems like a lot of extra work that's just not necessary. Oh, Boondock Fields, what's up, man? Yeah, so do me a favor. Or not do me a favor, but I'll give you a call tomorrow. I have some ideas on that email you sent. So I'll give you a call tomorrow. Does that work? Justin, you mean one shot or wide shot? I haven't heard of wide shot spray paint cans. Right on, man. Yeah, I'll call you tomorrow. I would give you my number and have you call me, but I don't really want to announce my phone number over the live. Then you're going to have, crazy fans calling, breathing heavy. It'll be weird. So are the Giants like a rival of the Eagles? I don't know. You have to like explain football to me. Oh, that's kind of interesting. What? So they're wide shot spray paint? Now, is it just paint, or do they have primer and like flat and matte finishes? Oh, division rivals. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I forgot there was, I think it's NFC and AFC, if I remember right. Oh, that makes sense, Justin. You buy once, cry once. It seems cliche, but it freaking is 100% true. Nathan, I agree. Dude, so look at this. Hang on, I'm gonna zoom out for a second. Look at all of Dad's routers. Each one of those has a different bit in it. Dad is, he's got a real thing for routers, because I'm the same way, especially if you're carving on site and people want, signs in a timely manner. Switching bits in the same router is freaking irritating. JC Anthony, right on, man. Oh, Eric. Oh, dude, I knew that. You're working over at Woodworker's Source, right? Dude, my memory's garbage, but I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah, no, wait, I think that's Ed Roberts. Yeah, that's Ed Roberts. Yes, please do, Justin, James. Yeah, you know, when I was doing martial arts in the studio, every time we'd go in, there was a rule: no politics and no sports, because those are the two things people get freaking all hyped up on. Going to go with a multiple route away myself. You know what? If you're carving, even a minimal amount, having at least 2 or 3 routers is the way to go. Hi, Mom. James Joy. Well, I appreciate that, dude. Rich Hoskins. How you doing, buddy? Ed, yeah, I was thinking, Rick, that's right. Ed, so if I remember right, Rick, you did the one of our cohort courses with us, right? Yeah. If you don't talk politics and don't talk sports, you avoid a lot of fist fights. Andrew, what's up, buddy? Oh, okay. All right, Rick. Well, I hope he's doing well, man. How's that redwood carving, Dad?
A little grainy and stuff, but overall not bad.
Okay. Just got home. You working late, Andrew? I actually just got home too. We went to visit a new tax guy, and he's awesome, but anything having to do with taxes, oh, what a pain. Perfect. I'll check that out, Justin. Thanks, man. Heavy equipment junkie. Good evening, man. You know, I worked on heavy equipment for a while. That is a job in and of itself. And Justin Hellickson, you work on heavy equipment too, right? That's right, Rick. Okay. All right. I hope everything's going well down there in Tucson and Texas for you. So guys, that little blower, let's see. So we have two. We have the Milwaukee and the Bauer. And the Milwaukee definitely has more power than the Bauer. That rhymes. That thing is one of those things where you never know how much you need it till you have it. We use that thing quite a bit, actually. ECM tuning. All right, so Justin, correct me if I'm wrong. All of the new heavy equipment basically is like, it's all computer ran, right? I mean, to work on any new stuff, anything newer than, I don't know, 2000, you got to have the computer. Is that right? Brian Hacken, you know what, dude? Honestly, if you're looking for a good budget router, here, let me grab one, hang on. So not last week was my daughter and my wife running the live, and that was hectic. But the week before, we did a live walnut slab, right? And my dad was using this, and I really like this little Craftsman router, but I will say it definitely bogged down a little bit compared to the Flex and the DeWalt. But we got the router, 2 batteries and a charger for 99 bucks. So if you're looking for a good budget trim router, I think that thing's pretty solid, man. Vevor, it's not that they make bad stuff, they just make cheap stuff. Oh, increasing torque and horsepower, all through a computer though, right? Yes, right, all through a computer. That's crazy. For folks, find a local small sawmill and get cutoffs. They make great signs, especially multi-tool. Yes, so First Day. I'm not sure what your actual name is, but you're 100% right, man. You can make some really cool stuff, and you can make some really profitable stuff with cutoffs from sawmills. We should do another video on that. An old friend in hospital, and me and the wife paid him a visit. Oh, dude, that's cool. Right on, Andrew. A jump house blower and a hose. Dude, those things, that'll like blow your bench over. That thing puts out some power. JC Anthony carved about 10 signs, 10 small signs. So here's the thing. How much are you using your profile? So it's really hard to kind of decipher how long a router bit will last. Like we had one guy that he said his profile bit dulled after 3 signs, but he did everything that was the only bit he had. So even when he had big areas to do like the cleanup and stuff where you'd usually use like the 90, he used all the profile. So I would say have at least 2 profile bits. That way when you send one in to get sharpened, you can use the other one. Steve Esden, yes, or Steven. I know some guys, get touchy about that. Steven Esden. Yeah, the Craftsman for the carving liner is a great freaking router because the carving liner, you're not pulling a ton of wood out anyway. So you don't have to really worry about torque too much. Brian Hacken, no worries, man. Brandon, I would say the Craftsman's actually better than the Hercules. Now, we haven't had any issues with the Hercules at all, but when you turn it on and when you're running it, it does sound like it's gonna blow up. You know how like when you borrow your dad's truck and you forget to shift or put transmission fluid in it and the RPMs are at like 4,500 and then you end up blowing it up and he gets mad at you? That's kind of what the Hercules sounds like. But it hasn't blown up. We haven't had any issues with it. I think it's a little bit better. Ryobi has a good router deal right now. Ryobi for 1.5 years and love it. A lot of people like the Ryobi. We haven't used it too much. Wesley Hatch. What part of Idaho, Wesley? Yeah, no problem, JC. The newer Ryobi cordless. Yeah, a lot of people really like that one. You know what, Justin? If anybody could, it'd be you, man. Pine does gum them up quite a bit. Yeah, you want to keep your router bits clean. Yeah, and I don't think you necessarily have to clean them after every sign, but maybe let's look at it kind of like boats, right? They go by hours. So if you have, say, 3 hours of solid carving with one bit, take the time to clean it. It's going to make a big difference. Southeast and Preston. I've never been there. C&G Creations, what's up, man? Brandon Cabanillas. See, you've done it before. I blew up my dad's 58 Chevy pickup. It had a 425 nail head motor in it. And he told me to check the transmission fluid, and I was like, that's stupid. I'll just hit the gas till everything goes boom. I've never been to Preston. One of my favorite places on earth is Salmon, Idaho. The best cleaner for bits, honestly, what we use is we use a little brass wheel and a Dremel. You don't even necessarily have to use a chemical, but Simple Green works. Dad, I hear you talking about dish soap, warm water and dish soap to clean your bits?
Yeah, I've done it in the sink with just hot water and dish soap and a wire brush, just a little wire brush like this.
Okay, so Dad said he's used dish soap and hot water in the sink with a little wire brush, and that works too. Basically, you just want to...
Especially if you clean them on a regular basis. If you let them get
Real nasty?
then it's going to be tougher to do.
Okay, so I'm kind of repeating what Dad says because he doesn't have a mic on, but if you clean them on a regular basis, that works pretty well. Hot water and dish soap with a little brass brush, or WD-40, yeah, that works too. But if you let them get real bad, then you're going to have to kind of go a little bit harder, probably with a Dremel and the brass brush. Yeah, Dawn, it's tough on grease, but easy on hands, as they say. You know what kind of sucks about Dad carving this sign? I carved one when they won Super Bowl 52, and then so they wanted a matching one, but this one's gonna look way better than the one I carved, so that's kind of embarrassing, but you know, what are you gonna do? Yeah, I need to zoom out just a touch. So Justin, that's a loaded question, man. I have a bit of an issue with the Milwaukee. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with their router. It has to do with how much it costs. Milwaukee's router by itself is like 200 bucks, or at least last time I checked it was. And it's no different than, I mean, it's got a little more power than the Craftsman, but for double the price, I don't think it's worth it. Now, if you're already on the Milwaukee platform, that's a different story. But I think the DeWalt is cheaper, the Flex is cheaper, and I think they're both better routers than the Milwaukee. So I got a little bit of a bias against Milwaukee just because it's so expensive and there's nothing special about it to make it worth that much. That's just my opinion. 4 hours south of Salmon by the... Oh, okay. All right. Beautiful country up there. You bought used for under 100, then it's worth it. 100% it's worth it, Justin. Mike Coffin up in the northwest. Actually, it's really nice. We didn't get any rain, but we see some rain off in the distance. And my wife, every time she, there's rain or whatever, she quotes The Lion King where the monkey goes, "Looks like rain." And she laughs because she thinks she's hilarious. Which, to be honest, she's pretty funny. Yeah, Justin, if you got it used for under $100, I would do that all day long because it's actually, it's a solid router. I just think they have a little bit too much pride. Kind of like when you go to a yard sale and they have something that's worth $5 and they want 20. Steven, that's true. The M18 batteries are expensive. However, we have gotten 2 batches of the aftermarket batteries on Amazon. You know, the M18s, they're like 60 bucks a piece or whatever, but we bought 2 that look identical to the Milwaukees, and they do work, but they died after about 7 or 8 months. So even though they're expensive, they definitely last a lot longer. I have Milwaukee M18 batteries for my blower, a couple of drills, and other tools that, man, I have put those things through the paces for about 6 years, and they're still going. Brandon, you're right, he does. Dad's pretty stinking good at this. It's like one of those satisfying videos that you, or like the, what is it, the hydraulic press videos. We haven't tried the new Forge batteries, but they're supposed to be pretty good. I'll tell you what, that little Bosch Colt cordless router we have, their battery's pretty impressive too. Gregory, do you clear coat cedar boards prior to applying black primer? No, we only really do that on pine or like whitewood. So this is actually redwood that Dad's carving. And that stuff, as long as you spray somewhat sparingly and don't go crazy, it just doesn't bleed. But the pine we definitely do. And usually 2 super light coats will take care of it. Mike, so I'm kind of the same way. Well, we're actually, I'll take that back. We're a little bit different because we do like router reviews and stuff. We have a ton of different routers. But if we didn't do that, we would probably stick to one platform. That way you have one battery for everything. And a buddy of mine, he did the same thing with guns. So like the only handguns he had were 40 caliber, no matter what the gun was. If it wasn't 40 caliber, he wouldn't buy it because that was his caliber, and that way he could use one caliber of ammo for all his guns. So it just depends on what you're looking for. Sophie Ann Durajian, game over, man, game over. Gregory, I do not paint then 6 to 7 coats. Yep, I agree, Mike. The Bosch router is pretty good, man. I don't like the depth adjustment, but I don't like them on pretty much all the routers except for the DeWalt and the Flex, to be honest. Greg, no problem. Tim List is here. What's up, Tim? Jim Lemaster, yes sir, we do. We have all the bits on our website, makeawoodsign.com, and I was talking about it a little earlier. By the end of next week, the website should be kind of revamped and all done up, so it makes it a lot easier to navigate. But as of right now, yes, we still have all of our router bits, the base plates, stencils, templates, all that stuff on the website, makeawoodsign.com. Justin, the Flex, I like it better than the DeWalt. And the main reason is for the shaft lock. The shaft lock on the Flex is way better. Oh, that's awesome, Tim. So you responded to my email today, and you said that one of your signs went to help your the children's ministry. Was that a Rooted sign? Honestly, Justin, all the Flex tools we have are pretty awesome, man. The saw, which is actually, let's see, right there, our circular saw, the drills, which we have up there, the router, man, Flex really makes a solid tool. As far as their table saws and their chop saws, they're good, but I won't say that they're meant for a ton of abuse. Yeah, it looked really good the way Dad carved it out set. I really like that. And if you guys haven't seen last week's video, go on the YouTube channel and check it out. I did a dog bowl stand, and I edited it totally different, and it came out really nice. And it was all using scrap wood. I didn't use anything new, which, to be honest, it would have been cheap enough to use cedar pickets or something. Probably a lot easier too, but it was all just scrap wood. Did you drop it a little bit deeper, Dad?
I did. I'm going probably a little over a quarter now.
Okay, so now Dad's at a bit over a quarter of an inch with a profile bit. Oh, so I was working on a project today. Mike, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, definitely not 10 grand worth of tools. Basically, a couple saws, a router, and a nail gun. Which, by the way, if you guys are building other stuff other than just making signs, a cordless nail gun, dude, I love that thing. It's freaking awesome. Jim Lemister, Grandpa actually passed away 3 years ago. Yeah, he caught COVID and he passed. And unfortunately, I waited.
4 years ago.
Oh, was that 4 years ago?
May 10th.
May 10th, 4 years ago, he passed away. But thank you for asking. I appreciate it, man. No worries, buddy. He lived an awesome life. Let's see here. Gregory, that's a great question. So depending on what you are carving, so the beer mug, do you have the 9-inch beer mug, like the big stencil one, or the small one? If you have the small one, I would say somewhere between an 1/8 inch and 3/16, because those are pretty tight lines. But a good rule of thumb is to start shallow and work your way deeper, especially if you're fairly new to carving and if you're carving a type of wood that you've never used before. If you start shallow, it's a lot easier to hold a straight line. Hi, baby. Thank you.
I can't find some of the tax stuff, and I'm very confused on what we're supposed to bring.
I'll come in there after we're done here, baby. Justin, I couldn't agree more, man. Freaking pretty awesome. Neil Pace is here. What's up, Neil? Okay, so Greg, you got the large one. So I would say start with your profile bit at 3/16 of an inch deep, maybe a touch shallower. Kind of get a feel for it, and then you can always go deeper. One thing my old woodshop teacher actually used to say, he said you could always cut off more, but it sure sucks putting more wood on. So yeah, start shallow. You can always go back and go deeper. What's wrong?
Oh, I don't have a 90-degree setup. That's crazy.
Did you take the 90 out of something?
I must have. I don't know where it's at.
Because I used it last week.
I don't know where it is.
Oh.
Let me see here.
Justin, did Amy cuss? I bet she did. That woman's got a mouth like a sailor.
Yeah, I thought I saw it earlier too.
What about in the Bosch? Is it in the Bosch?
No, it's a 3/8 90. All right, well,
Cobalt?
cobalt.
Yeah, is it in the Cobalt?
No, that's a spiral. All right, sorry guys.
All right, so Dad's got to put a 90 in. Oh, Justin, yes, tax stuff. That is pretty much the worst curse word in the English language, or really pretty much any language.
I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, you're good, Dad. But man, I swear we had a 90.
I'm sure we have one somewhere. Not even sure we have one in here.
Did you leave it in the other router? Oh, here. That's why, because I snagged it. Sorry.
Thank you.
I was
I knew we had one set up somewhere.
I was promoting Craftsman, trying to get a sponsorship.
Well, if you get it, then it was worth it.
That's right.
All right. Now we'll see the Craftsman work.
All right. Mike, yes, sir, I do. She's pretty awesome. Like I said in the email, sometimes I want to set her on fire, but that's all right. I'm sure she feels the same way. Jeep 44XHI. So we sharpen the bits. If you are a member, so we have premium and executive memberships. And one's $9.99, one's $19.99. And you get a bunch of other stuff, but one of the things you get as a benefit from that is router bit sharpening. If you're not a member, no problem. As long as you got the bits from us, we will sharpen them, and we charge $7 a piece to sharpen them. So you can send them to our shop and email me, Ryan@makeawoodsign.com, and I will I'll shoot you the address and everything that you can send it to. Oh, it's on the website as well. Oh yeah, yeah. Justin, so we actually did a video on that stuff on our I don't know, organization wall back there. God, that must have been 2 years ago. But dude, that's definitely one of our best ideas. It was not your idea, Mom. Oh, you guys want to say hi to Mom? Hang on. Oh, you look great. You look great. That's Mom. Yeah, that router wall really is pretty awesome, other than the fact that the birds will fly in here and try to make nests on them, but that's all right. So now Dad's got the 90. What are you now, 3/16, Dad?
No, I'm probably 1/4 inch.
About 1/4 inch, and he's going in there and getting out all of the remainder of the wood. Brian, you know what? Sometimes those turn out the best, though, when you have a ton of detail in them.
Are you talking to me?
No. Tim, awesome. I appreciate the feedback. Yep, feedback, not feedback. Yeah, we write a personal note on every single order, and we're looking at doing stickers instead of candies.
What do they think is that idea?
Oh, so I did a poll on YouTube, and like 96% said they would like the sticker instead of the candy. Everybody says hi, Mom. Ray and Sandy's woodworking. You know, we hear that a lot, but I'm just not convinced. Unless we're doing like MDF or something. Rich, yes, it is definitely louder, but the Hercules makes that thing sound like it's got a silencer on it. The Hercules sounds like the whole thing's gonna explode. So if you have multiple routers from multiple bits, I would recommend using the carving liner in the Craftsman. Yeah, you can definitely hear a difference. So now those are 2-inch Clarendon letters on the LIX Super Bowl champions.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to use the 90 or the 60 on that? Okay.
Either one. I could use either one, but I've got the 60 set up, so
Okay.
that's the one I kind of planned on using.
All right. So for everybody new just coming in, those are 2-inch Clarendon letters that we use. And I laid this thing out like 2.5, 3 weeks ago, something like that. It was a while ago because I was just going to carve it off camera for my friends, but then a bunch of stuff happened. But those are our 2-inch Clarendon letters, and Dad is using the 60 degree on those. And you can find all this stuff on the website, makeawoodsign.com, router bits, base plates, all that stuff. Jeep, this is redwood. This is actually a redwood board that we put together a while back. Redwood kiln dried 2x4s and 2x6s. Use the 60 versus the 90. So, okay, that's a great question, Tim. All right, so most of our inset letters, we use the 60 degree. And the 90 degree, we pretty much exclusively use that for when we're going in and taking out wood. So like, if you look at the E right there on Eagles, Dad did the outline with a profile, then he went in and took out the rest of the wood with a 90 degree. Now Dad's using the 60 degree on the inset letters.
But I don't like it, so I'm changing to the 90.
Oh, you're changing to the 90? He doesn't like it, so he's changing to the 90.
Yeah, you gotta be flexible.
Yep, you got to be flexible. So if you're doing pretty much anything over 1.5 inches, 2-inch, 3-inch, 4-inch, you can use the 90 degree. The biggest aspect with that is you just want to make sure you have enough room in the carving itself to use that wider degree bit. Does that make sense? Mike, no, we need to switch that to the stinking carving liner. What depth on the 60? Dad was going probably almost 1/4 inch. Shut the damn router off before adjusting anything. What do you mean, Zachary? Rick, what's up, buddy? So Andrew, what do you have in your neck of the woods? What's kind of the most prevalent wood that you use? Rich, yeah, 3/16 to 1/4. It just depends on how many times it's been sharpened, because you can actually drop it too deep and sink the bit farther than the flutes will cut, and that'll create a lot of burning and burring. Your dog just brought you a bird in the house? Well, he's bringing you a gift, man. Is it a good bird? Can you eat it? Zachary, we're not. We don't stick our fingers near the spinning router bit. As you can see, fingers are about as far away as you can get. In fact, that's one of the reasons that we use the base plate we use, is because it's a lot safer than the base plate that comes with the router. It keeps your hands a little bit farther away from the bit as it's spinning. Gives you a lot more control too. You can see that Dad's got his hands and his forearms on the bench, as opposed to having his hands right near the base where the bit's spinning. No worries, Boondock. Jamie, I think your name's Jamie. This is redwood, man. Honestly, Rich, I think I'd rather do cedar than redwood. I think it carves nicer. Black walnut, maple, and oak, all those are nice, but man, they beat the crap out of your bits. Especially maple. Excuse me. so first day, interesting you should mention that. We are working on something along those lines. So we'll be making an announcement hopefully in the next 2 to 4 weeks, depending on kind of how it works out. But keep an eye out for that because we are actually working on something similar to that. Yeah, Jamie, cedar works great, man. Yeah, it smells good. I will say I get a little sneezy after I carve cedar for too long, but it's worth it. And it doesn't hardly bleed at all. I like using that blue pine, but if you forget to put a, what do you call it, a clear coat on it before you spray, it'll bleed. Yeah, Andrew, maple is a hardwood. It looks beautiful, and it actually carves pretty good. It's just really hard. Wesley, take it easy, buddy. I don't think I've ever carved aspen, Tim. Hey, Dad, have you ever carved hackberry?
Oh, what?
Hackberry?
Hackberry? One time. It was really hard, the way I remember it.
So Dad's carved hackberry. I never had. He said it was really, really hard. I'll have to look into that. See, because we're out here in the desert, we just don't have a ton of options for different woods unless we want to spend a buttload of money. Rich, I agree. However, you want to be careful with carving too shallow because I personally think it looks better when you carve deep. So even if you carve it in 2 steps, say 1/8 of an inch at first, then drop down to 1/4 of an inch, it'll save on your bits, but you still get that depth. Oh, no kidding. Oh, it frizzes like it gets those burrs like basswood. Oh, dude, that is so irritating. I will agree with that. First day, what's your name? I feel weird calling you first day. But yeah, if you're carving a ton of cedar, you probably want a dust mask. Okay, aspen is pretty similar to birch. No, Justin, this won't be a table. This is just a sign. I wish I had a way of showing a screenshot of the sign that I made for my friends when the Eagles won Super Bowl 52. They wanted basically a matching set because they're huge Eagles fans. And it's in my buddy's like man cave type deal. Yeah, Tim, that would look nice. You're carving some really nice stuff, dude. You know, Andrew, I've seen poplar that looks really good. Then I've seen poplar that kind of has like a green tint to it, almost like an old bass pond that has no water flow. So it's kind of hit and miss. Interactive Realm, how you doing? We haven't gotten any trolls on this, which is kind of disappointing. Sometimes those guys are hilarious. Yeah, I will, Justin. I'll see if I can have him take a picture of the two next to each other. Rich, those will work. In fact, those were what we sent the router bits out for a long time in. So they definitely will work. As long as they're, I don't know, most of our bits, I think the spiral upcut, the 1/4 inch spiral upcut is the longest one. I think that's like 3 inches. So as long as they're over 3 inches, that should be fine. This thing is gonna look nice. Sun's dropping. But it looks like it'll go behind a cloud here pretty quick. Okay, so now this is a good example. If you look at the way the eagle looks right there, you can see the depth. If you're only carving 1/8 of an inch deep, you're not going to see depth like you do right there. Hopefully, after this is done, I'll still have some time to shoot my bow. I gotta tell you guys, I've been shooting like 30 to 50 arrows a day. I'm getting amped up for archery season. Mike, yes, we do have the surfacing bit that we use on all our tables. In fact, we've used one surfacing bit for, let's see,